Hey everyone, Mr. MC here. This is a lap guide for the new lap time challenge taking place at Kyoto Driving Park, Yamagiwa and Miyabi with the Volkswagen I.D.R. There's a lot of things to talk about, so let's go ahead and get started with the race details. The first thing you want to do is go on over to sport mode, so make sure you have menu book number 9 completed. That way you'll be able to access the mode and access the new lap time challenge. This is a 2-week event ending at the end of February 15, 2023 with a fully stock Volkswagen I.D.R on the racing medium tires. Your goal is to get within 3% of the world record time when the time trial event ends. That way you'll get those 2 million credits when the event ends. The first thing you want to do before you even start the time trial is to bind the overtake / nitrous / DRS button to your controller or wheel. So going over to the little Gran Turismo button on the top left hand corner of the screen, go to options, press R1 to access controllers, go to your controller or wheel settings, and then you want to assign a button to be the overtake / nitrous / DRS button because the I.D.R has a DRS system. And just to let you know, you're going to be spamming the heck out of that DRS button. And some things to know about the DRS system in this car: it's available to be activated when you reach around 85 miles per hour or 140 kilometers per hour. And once you meet those speed requirements, you need to be using at least 75 to 80% of your throttle input to be able to use the DRS. And when you activate it, the little DRS button will be flashing red. So if it's flashing red, that means you're using it. The other thing is that it is possible to use DRS while you're using braking and throttle at the same time. That's kind of something that I saw along the way. But if you're using braking and throttle at the same time, you lose all throttle inputs. So I don't recommend using braking and throttle at the same time. But now let's get started with the lap guide. So as I mentioned earlier, make sure you have the DRS button binded on your wheel or controller because you're going to be using it pretty much all the time for a bit more speed and to help with the car's turn in. Your first braking point is just as you pass the 50-meter board that is on the right. You're going to turn in almost immediately using around 50% braking power, and you want to try to hug the curb that is on the left to help with your turn in. You want to start to accelerate as you're pointing towards the middle grandstand and keep holding down that DRS button. You're basically holding down that button for the entire lap. Go through the S's in as straight of a line as possible, bringing yourself towards the right side of the track. Look for the Marshall stand that is on the right, as that is your turn-in marker. Some people simply lift off of throttle. I use just a little bit of braking, but either way, try to maintain as much speed as possible, around 160 miles per hour. And you want to be careful about using the curb that is on the left because that can help with the turn in, but that can also send the car into a slide and cost you a bit of time. Then brake as you pass the 150-meter line that is on the left, turning in before you pass the 50-meter line. Going for a late apex, and be careful about the end of this hairpin as there's a little bump. And you want to be a little careful with your throttle input, bringing yourself towards the right. Turn in before the curb on the right ends and use just a little bit of braking power because you want to try to go for a late apex through the second hairpin and try to get on the throttle as soon as you can. And again, keep holding down that DRS button because it helps with the car's turn in and helps you go a little faster. Then you're bringing yourself towards the right and you're turning in before the curb on the right ends. Shortly after, you want to use a little bit of your braking power to try to bring yourself towards the curbs that are on the left. So around 50% braking power. Be nice and patient getting on the throttle because it's really easy to get impatient and end up going wide out of this turn just like how I did. So you want to be a little patient going through that turn. Then brake just as the yellow and gray barrier on the left starts. Going at full braking power, make sure you touch the apex that is on the right. You will go a little deep, but this will set you up for the second apex as you exit these series of turns. Just trying to make sure that you're able to get the car towards the start of the curb that is on the other side of the track. and that way you can fully accelerate and you know that you'll be able to make it out of those series of turns. Then you're braking before the 35R on the ground ends, so brake as much as you can for a short while, attacking the heck out of this hairpin. Gradually transition over from the braking to the throttle, that way you give the car some time to turn in. And now here comes the tricky chicane. So you want to start to brake shortly after the curb on the right starts, because the end of the curb that is on the right is your turn-in point, so you turn in just after it ends. That way you'll be able to attack the apex of the chicane and get on the throttle as soon as you can. Then bring yourself towards the left. You're braking as close as you can to the 50-meter board, attacking the heck out of this hairpin as well. And you can see me actually go just a little wide, so I set myself up for a late apex and try to get on the throttle as soon as I can. And there we go. So in a moment we'll go through the lap without stopping the video at all, but in this lap I was able to get a 155.352. Alright, so let's go ahead and get started with this section of the guide where I don't stop the video, keeping the DRS button pressed down for the entire lap, braking at the 50-meter board and turning in almost immediately. This car has a lot of downforce, so you want to try to make use of it, so you'll be able to carry a lot more speed through these turns, going up the hill in as straight of a line as possible, bringing yourself towards the right side of the track, looking for the Marshall stand that is on the right. I use just a little bit of braking to help with the turn in and try to be careful with the curb on the left, as that can make your car slide around. Going to attack the heck out of this first hairpin, braking late, so I have just a little bit of downforce as I start to turn in, going in for a late apex through these two hairpins, trying to get on the throttle as soon as I can, still keeping the DRS button pressed down. Again, I have it pressed down for the entire lap. Bringing yourself towards the right side of the track and be patient through this turn in the Miyabi section, because it's really easy to accelerate too early and end up going wide just like that, because that ended up costing me about a tenth of a second, around a tenth of a second. Attacking the heck out of these series of turns, trying to make sure that you get yourself set up for the exit of these series of turns, just like that, getting aggressive on the throttle. Then bring yourself towards the right side of the track, looking for the end of the 35R on the ground, braking before it ends, attacking the heck out of this hairpin, and then slow down just a little early to set yourself up for the second half of the chicane. That way you can attack the heck out of it and get on the throttle as soon as you can. Bring yourself towards the left side of the track, brake before the 50-meter board, attacking the heck out of this hairpin as well, getting on the throttle as soon as you can. And that is it for this lap guide. So hopefully this lap guide helped you out a bit in getting closer or even reaching the gold medal times. We'll see how this lap time compares to the world record as the time goes on. And that's all from me. So thank you for supporting this channel. Thank you for watching this video. If you like this video, you can press the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I do have a membership program thing that you can check out down below if you want to further support this channel. You know, my usual plugins. But that's all from me. Take care, everyone. This is Mr. MCA, and I'll see you in the next video.